Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Tough to get your errands done earlier tonight. Watch as heavy rain falls of the Family Fair parking lot. What was that? A runaway shopping cart rolling along because of strong winds. Some people across the area experienced much more dangerous weather, including hail and tornado warnings. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Yes, severe weather moved through the region today, and for some, they had to deal with hail.
And this is what folks in Roosevelt, Minnesota found on the ground. Take a look. That's pretty close to golf ball-sized hail into Neil Peterson's hand. Roosevelt's east of War Road. And in Grand Forks, the sky, as you can see in this next picture, wow, looks very ominous. This picture was taken by Cass Mielich, and for people, there was some lightning, thunder. That was pretty common in many parts of the region, including Comstock, Minnesota. Thanks to Tiffany Qualley. Thanks for sending this incredible photo.
Now, we also had some great video sent our way. Ryan O took this around 7 tonight. We want to show you the video there from Twin Valley. Sure looks like a twister to me. We had no reports of damage. Watch that. From that same general vicinity, some more video to show you. David Radnicki spotted this from a distance. Once again, it looks like a twister. There's an extension from the cloud to the ground. This was near Mahnomen along Highway 200.
Well, let's get more on what Hutch thinks that those were and what's going on there now. Hutch?
Well, thanks so much, you guys. It's been a very active day of weather, and those pictures, boy, I got to tell you, the definition of a tornado is a rotating vortex that makes contact between the cloud and the ground. And that first swirling dust pile that we saw there, hard to tell if that actually made its way all the way up to the cloud, because these thunderstorms can cause such strong downbursts, we call them. It picks up dust and debris and it swirls it around too. So the meteorologists at the National Weather Service are looking into this. They'll take a look at some data, but we did match it up on the radar with some data that did support that there was rotation within the clouds, even though it was fairly weak. So this is what's going on now as we head through the rest of the evening. The rain potential really moving off to the east of the FM area, down to the south, southeast North Dakota, where you see the big green box there. There is just a lot of concern about flash flooding, a flash flood warning overnight there. Thunder and lightning mainly in our southern counties, moving into Otter Tail County. North of Otter Tail County, it's just good old-fashioned rain with a few lightning strikes possible. As we take a look, we are seeing the rain accumulation over the day in Lemoore County quite sizable. A flood advisory for that area. Also, the flash flood warning, where over 5 inches is estimated by Doppler radar in northern portions of Richland County. And now a flood advisory issued for the southern part of Richland County in towards Breckenridge and Otter Tail County, where these storms are moving. So it looks like overnight the threat is going to be high water. That'll be your threat on the way to work in the morning. If you're driving in these areas, we want you to be careful. Turn around, don't drown. Stay tuned. I'll have your hour-by-hour forecast here in just a few moments.
Nice to see things kind of calming down.
I like quiet.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Hutch. And you can stay up to date on all this changing weather and any conditions anytime on your smartphone or your tablet. Just download the Storm Team weather app to get the latest weather conditions. Even follow the radar live. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store.
Authorities are calling it a takedown of a multi-state drug trafficking ring. The list of suspects is long. 41 people charged, several of those dealers traveling to North Dakota and the White Earth Reservation. At the top of the federal indictment is Omar Beasley, who has a history of drug convictions. Last year, Beasley was allegedly starting a new scheme in Indian country. The indictment says that Beasley put together a network of people to get drugs from Chicago and Detroit to dealers in White Earth and Red Lake.
We didn't want to just take down the head of the organization or the people bringing the heroin into the state of Minnesota. We wanted to make it as difficult as possible for somebody to come in and pick up where this organization left off.
Locally, officers say that they've seen an increase in drug overdoses, heroin leading the way.
Well, the leading users in our area are about 18 to 20 years old, and help can be very tough to get. Addiction counselors say there's a lack of funding, shortage of employees, and treatment centers in our area.
Valley News Team's Macy Enger talked with people who want to do something about that.
I don't think any of our clients have a hard time finding their drug of choice.
Heroin use is on the rise, right here in the Valley.
I think people are using prescription drugs, and when they can't afford those or they run out, they can't find them, they move to heroin.
The Share House program director says there's not enough resources to help people who walk down that path.
It really doesn't matter what time of year it is, If there's a big bust or not, there's usually more than enough people coming through that have addiction issues in the area to keep any treatment center that's here full.
The president of the Share House says it's hard to fund and staff treatment centers. That's why a group wants to bring a different kind of counseling to Fargo, similar to Regroup in Moorhead.
And we will be employing recovery coaches.
The nonprofit Face It Together will be funded by donations. They provide free support during all stages of recovery.
There's always hesitancy of not in my backyard. We don't want this in our backyard. Whether it's a homeless shelter or addiction treatment facilities, people aren't always real receptive to having those kind of services offered in their neighborhood.
No matter the treatment center, counselors say it's important to have community support to help curb the cycle. In Fargo, Macy Inger, Valley News Live.
In the coming days, you'll be hearing more about Face It Together. For now, there's more information online. Go to our website at valleynewslive.com and click on this story. A celebration of life for Joey Garsland has been scheduled for this Saturday. It's going to be held at 2:30 at the Northern Town Hall in Bemidji. Garsland died after suffering traumatic brain injuries due to a severe assault outside a bar in Fargo. If you plan to go, you are encouraged to wear Vikings attire.
The Humane Society is calling out 100 dog breeders for being the worst in the United States. 3 of those right here in our region. We paid a visit to a Detroit Lakes breeder by the name of Michelle Sonnenberg, who the USDA calls a repeat offender. The inspection reports have violations ranging from pests to unclean water and unfit housing for the dogs. The owner's husband says everything is fine, though. Then we went to the Renner's Kennel just down the road, where they have been cited for not giving dogs adequate veterinary care. We knocked, but the owner refused to talk.
I think there needs to be stricter penalties for the people that are having these issues. I mean, if they're keeping the dogs in unsanitary conditions, I think more needs to be done.
They want the general public to believe that these reports and photos depict day-to-day reality of all dog breeding facilities, when in fact these areas of noncompliance are resolved or corrected shortly after inspection.
No breeders in North Dakota made that list.
At least 5 cases of the dog flu have been detected in Minnesota, and the outbreak seems to have come from Detroit Lakes. That's according to the Minnesota Board of Animal Health. It appears the dogs were exposed to the flu when they visited Lucky Dog Boarding and Training Center. We visited the facility just 2 weeks ago when it opened back up. The center says all of the dogs have recovered. It's changed its policy to ensure that the flu will not spread in the future.
A warning for businesses around the Bemidji area. Watch out for fake $20 bills. Investigators say that they're getting reports over the past week that police want businesses now to become familiar with identifying fakes. Also report any suspicious activity to Bemidji Police or Beltrami County Sheriff's officials. We have a link to the Secret Service Counterfeit Money Guide on our website. Just go to valleynewslive.com and then click on this story.
Prom is the rite of passage for most high schoolers, but some never share the experience. There's an organization that's been trying to change that by holding a dance for adults with disabilities. Creative Care held its 5th annual event tonight at the Elzagle Shrine Golf Course. More than 85 couples took part this year, along with close to 35 volunteers.
The decorations that you see tonight have been donated by Davies High School and Dilworth Glendon Felton schools. And we have students from DGF as well in formal wear, and some kids from other high schools that are actually escorts for folks that don't have a date.
And what's even better, the event continues to grow more and more each year.